Not one, but two stimulus checks. What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys are doing very well today. It is Thursday evening. It is super late. It's barely Thursday evening. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So I guess it's technically Friday. But anyway, guys, I'm so excited to be sharing this information with you guys. And of course, I'm back again with another stimulus check update, stimulus package, and related news update. But again, I'm so super excited to share this video with you guys. I was actually going to share it in the morning, but I was like, nah, I got to let these guys know about it right now. So shout out to me in the comments if you guys are up late with me right now. And a big shout out to my notification squad out there for all of you guys who have notifications turned on. But yeah, I'm super excited to share this video with you guys because I've got some really, really good news for you. So remember the $600 billion Republican counteroffer that we heard about earlier this week, right? Well, apparently President Biden is not a fan of that, and we kind of knew that was going to be the case, right? But now he's pushing for a big budget stimulus deal. Now this could be great, guys. I also want to add the fact that at this moment, it's highly likely that we're going to see that big budget relief package come out. And why? Well, it's because the Democrats already started their plans for clearing the Senate hurdle. So find out exactly what I'm talking about in just a little bit. But what I can tell you at this point is how they continue moving forward even without Republican support. Now this means we might be seeing a faster development on the negotiations on the stimulus checks. Now, isn't that great? That's really something that we could be expecting at this point. Now, do you guys remember back in the beginning of December when we were hearing news that, there would not be a second stimulus check, and then boom, all of a sudden we got that $600 stimulus check? And not only that, but it opened the door for a third stimulus check for $2,000. Do you guys remember that? Well, guess what? We're also hearing from Nancy Pelosi, and I know she's been very quiet lately, but she's actually going to be talking about not just the third stimulus check, but also a fourth stimulus check. So you definitely want to stick around to hear exactly what she had to say about the third and the fourth stimulus checks from the two stimulus packages later in this video. Your boy always brings you guys the best in stimulus check updates, stimulus package news, student loan forgiveness information, rent and mortgage assistance, PPP, EIDL updates. I mean, if that doesn't deserve a like on this video, I don't know what does. So if you don't mind, definitely support your boy and tap the like button. But before I get into it, I'd like to say welcome back to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. And for those who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance, investing, how to generate multiple streams of income, and of course, stimulus checks and stimulus check updates. So if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to the channel and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release new videos and content. But otherwise, let's jump right into the stories. All right, guys, so yesterday, President Joe Biden encouraged Democrat lawmakers to act fast on this COVID rescue plan. And this came days after the president met with a group of 10 GOP senators to discuss the $618 billion compromise to his $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. But if you guys have watched my previous stimulus update videos, then you guys know that White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki confirmed that the president does not think that $618 billion in the form of the Republicans' proposal contains enough, sufficient funding to provide direct relief for most Americans. And not to mention the plans on safely reopening schools and ramping up the pace of vaccinations. It's just not enough money to be able to carry all those different things out. So no, those two are crucial components of the president's relief package. Now, Psaki also stressed the urgency of passing a robust COVID-19 relief package, confirming that right now, the president is still pushing for the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. And as a matter of fact, on a private call with the House Democrats, President Biden said, look, we got a lot of people hurting out in our country today, and we have to act. We need to act fast. I'm not going to start my administration by breaking a promise to the American people. When I saw that, I was like, yes, like he didn't just make it in the office and completely forget about what he said before, getting into the office in terms of his promises. And here he's referring to sending out the $1,400 stimulus checks. Now, those checks are intended to make up for a certain promise that he made before he was even inaugurated, which was that he was going to deliver a total of $2,000 in direct payments. And right now he's saying that he's open to tightening the eligibility for the proposed $1,400 stimulus checks. Any move to cut the payments base amount would ultimately mean starting his presidency with a broken promise. And apparently he doesn't want to do that. And I completely understand that this is probably not the right thing to do, right? I mean, if you're a leader, how would you get people to trust you if you're going to do something like that, which is like literally breaking the faith of the people as soon as you get into the office, especially at such an early point in your term. So yeah, right now we have a sigh of relief because the president has already signaled that he is not willing to reduce the standard $1,400 in stimulus checks. So that's really good news, number one. At least we're certain about that. However, I have to tell you that it would become more targeted. And this would mean that the income threshold to qualify for the stimulus checks would certainly be lowered. For example, last time individuals earning less than $75,000 were considered eligible for a stimulus check. And of course, going up and beyond the $75,000, you did get a stimulus check, but it was reducing itself for every $1,000 that you earned above that point. But when it comes to these forthcoming $1,400 stimulus checks, the cutoff point might be be set lower. So we'll definitely see about that soon. But I personally think that it's a great start toward, giving people the sufficient relief that they need, especially if you compare that to the $1,000 in direct aid that the Republican senators plan to send out to the American people. I think that falls too short of what we actually need. Plus, I heard it would also be more targeted. So I'm really glad that President Joe Biden wants to go big on this pandemic relief with hopes to restore the soul of the country. But don't get me wrong, it's been reported that he's still trying to talk to Republicans about this, and the administration remains very optimistic that a bipartisan virus relief package will actually be reached. But while Biden is trying to build bipartisan support from Republicans, he's also prepared to rely on the Democratic majority in Congress to push the package into law. And right now, the Senate Democrats have already begun the budget reconciliation process for the president's COVID-19 relief plan. Now, just last Monday, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi filed a joint budget resolution, essentially kickstarting the reconciliation process. And on Tuesday, a motion to proceed to debate over the budget resolution, which would serve as the vehicle for the aid package, passed with a 50-49 vote along party lines in the Senate. So it seems that they're really serious about urgently passing the stimulus plan. And don't we all want the same thing? I mean, right? Now, what we're hearing is that there will be up to 50 hours of debate over this resolution. I'm glad I don't have to sit in for that. That will then be followed up by a series of votes and amendments known as a vote-a-rama. Now, if you think that because of this reconciliation process, dreams of bipartisanship will completely just come to an end, then you'll be totally wrong. In fact, there's still hope of that. Chuck Schumer said in an earlier speech on the Senate floor, there will be a bipartisan open amendment process to the budget resolution this week. We welcome your ideas, your input, your revisions. We welcome cooperation. There is nothing about this process of a budget resolution or reconciliation for that matter that forecloses the possibility of bipartisanship. Now, because of this, I think we can now safely assume that any senator may file an amendment during the vote-a-rama. However, all suggestions must be budgetary in nature. And for me, I think that's better than not having the turn to speak, right? Anyway, despite the offer for bipartisanship, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday that by proceeding with the budget resolution, Democrats had chosen a partisan path. Now, I don't know about you guys, but what I can see is they're only trying to speed things up here. But of course, we're all entitled to our own opinions. But maybe that's just how he sees it. But what we're certain with right now is that Democrats, with the support of President Biden, willingly choose to push through with the budget reconciliation process. And by taking that route, they are clearly signaling that they're ready to pass the proposal alone, even without the help of the Republicans. And honestly, that's a pretty bold move for those guys. I'm really impressed that they still went through with it. And I'm kind of excited to see where this is really going to go. We could be seeing the stimulus checks sooner than expected, so I'll definitely keep a close watch on this one. And I'll be sure to update you guys with the developments once I get additional details. Now, as promised, we're definitely going to hear from Nancy Pelosi. And as I mentioned before, Nancy Pelosi has pretty much been away from the cameras quite a bit over the last several weeks. However, she has since resurfaced, and apparently she's been quite busy. And she's talking about not one stimulus package, but two. Let's listen in.
We're very proud of the legislation, and again, it's not the last bill we'll pass. This is the recovery. This is the rescue package. This is the rescue package. We must pass this bill to crush the virus, to save the lives and livelihoods of the American people, to put children back in school and people back to work. That is its purpose. We want to do it in a way that is fair, that addresses the disparities that have existed. Do you know, in the Native American community, 2 times as many people, percentage-wise, have died than whites. The disparity in the African American community and in the Hispanic community is sinful. So as we do this bill, we want to do so in a way that is fair and equitable, and continue to do testing, etc., distribution of the virus, but keeping a record of how this has been distributed. Then hopefully we can get to a place where this bill will be a force for fairness rather than ossifying some of the unfairness that has gone before. Then we have the next bill will be, this is rescue, that's recovery. And we're already working with some of the provisions that we would have in a Recovery Act. We're legislators, that's why we're here, that's what we do. And so we're always getting ready for the next legislation. Build Back Better for the people. These were some of what we talked about. Joe Biden said help is on the way. And the recovery package with lower health care costs and bigger paychecks for the people is what we need to do. So just because something might not be in one bill, and we don't accept that yet, but if it isn't, we have other places to do it. In fact, I wish we were talking about a living wage, but $15 an hour is an important improvement over that.
All right, guys, so you heard it directly from Nancy Pelosi. They are following through with what Joe Biden has said previously about any stimulus packages. You know, he said that if any stimulus packages are approved and passed, you know, they will only be a down payment toward future stimulus checks and stimulus packages. And I'm really happy to see that they haven't forgotten the promises that they made that ultimately got them into office, right? And also, and I hope you guys were paying attention, she called the next stimulus package the rescue package, which, as we know, contains either the $1,400 or $2,000 stimulus check in it. And, you know, as we discussed previously, President Joe Biden is not backing down from a minimum of $1,400 in stimulus checks. But Nancy Pelosi also revealed a fourth stimulus package, which in the video she referred to it as the recovery stimulus package. Now, as we know, these stimulus packages, you know, they're huge. They're huge packages, you know, hundreds, if not thousands of pages long, and they contain lots of legislation in them. So, you know, that means that it definitely takes time to prepare and to be able to pass these forms of legislation. But the good news is that they are not only working on the third stimulus check and third stimulus package, but they're also working on the fourth stimulus check and stimulus package. So, you know, guys, this is really huge. And just a quote out of that video, Nancy Pelosi referred to the Build Back Better plan. I guess that kind of makes sense. You know, you've got recovery, and then you've got rescue, and then you've got recovery. So I would love to see some concrete details on that fourth stimulus package. Of course, I'll definitely be sharing that information with you guys as soon as it becomes available. But anyway, guys, that is all for this stimulus check update and stimulus package update. If you made it this far in this video, I would definitely appreciate it if you liked the video and also subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release new videos and content. I gotta go to bed now, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.